Hello everyone, I'm Ankit and you're watching the StudyIQ IAS English channel. In our today's video, we are going to cover what enemy property actually means. Now, if you want to download the notes of this session, you can go to the Telegram app, open your Telegram app and click on search bar and enter the words ATS Live. You'll find the channel. Subscribe to the channel if you still haven't and download the notes. If you have any problem in locating this channel, alternatively, you can also scan the QR code. This will help you immensely, okay? Now, you must be wondering why I've attached a picture of a Bollywood star Saif Ali Khan behind me to explain it to you the concept of enemy property, because all of you know that Saif Ali Khan is an Indian citizen coming from a very reputed family. So how is he involved in a conflict relating to enemy property? Well, I'll explain it to you everything, no need to worry. First, let us understand why are we discussing enemy property. Now, if you remember the last Nawab of Bhopal, Hamidullah Khan, he had an immense amount of property like every king, right? Now, several of his key assets like Flagstaff House or different palaces in Bhopal has been designated as an enemy property by Government of India. Why? Because the expected legal heir of the last Nawab of Bhopal, Hamidullah Khan, was his eldest daughter, Abida Sultan. Now, she migrated into Pakistan after both of these countries was bifurcated. So that is why government designated all the properties of Nawab of Bhopal, which was inherited by Abida Sultana, as an enemy property. Now, Saif Ali Khan has also came into dispute. Saif Ali Khan also happens to be the great grandson of the last Nawab of Bhopal. So that is why Saif Ali Khan is saying that this property belongs to Saif Ali Khan and his siblings, not to Abida Sultan, and hence it should not be categorized as enemy property. But what is enemy property? How is any property designated as enemy property? Let's find out, okay? Now, first of all, to make things simpler, I'll tell you the family tree of the Nawab of Bhopal and it will help you understand how is Saif Ali Khan involved here, okay? Now, I told you Hamidullah Khan had 3 daughters. The eldest one was Abida Sultana, followed by Sajida Sultana and Rabia Sultan. Now, Abida Sultan, she was supposed to be the legal heir and ultimate inheritor of the property of Hamidullah Khan, who was the last Nawab of Bhopal. But Miss Abida, she migrated into Pakistan. So after her, the property was inherited by Sajida Sultana. Sajida Sultana married Nawab of Patodi at that time, Iftikhar Ali Patodi, whose son was Mansur Ali Khan Patodi. If you remember and if you follow cricket closely, if you'll remember, Mansur Ali Khan Patodi, famously called as Tiger Patodi, he was the captain of Indian cricket team. Now, the son of Mansur Ali Khan Patodi, we all know he's a famous Bollywood star, Saif Ali Khan. So that is why Saif Ali Khan is claiming that this property, although it was expected to be inherited by Abida Sultan, but she once migrated into Pakistan. So the property was inherited not by Abida, but her sister Sajida, who married an Indian person and they remained Indian. That is why this property shouldn't be categorized as enemy property. Understood now how Saif Ali Khan is involved? Now let us find out how can a property be an enemy property. Now the properties which are left behind into India by individuals who either have fought war against India or may have acquired citizenship of an enemy nation like Pakistan or China, those property are categorized as an enemy property. Now these includes both movable as well as immovable assets. Immovable assets means land, buildings, etc. Immovable assets mean businesses, shares, etc. So both of these can be categorized as an enemy property. Now, once any property is categorized as an enemy property, the custody of that property is transferred from an individual to a body known as the custodian of enemy property. So basically, it is the government of India that controls the property once it has been designated as the enemy property, right? Now, what happens after a concept or any property has been defined as enemy property, we'll find out. But first, understand how this concept actually originated in India. Now, you understand India has fought wars basically with 2 countries. We have fought wars with China in 1962 and we have fought wars with Pakistan after independence in 1965, in 1971 and also a limited conflict in Kargil. So, the citizens of India who have migrated to these countries or they have were involved in this war against India, those properties has been designated by the government as the enemy property. And the property that are seized as enemy property, those are vested under the custodian of enemy property under the laws Defense of India Act 1962 and Defense of India rules. So it is basically this body, custodian of enemy property, who is appointed to manage, control and dispose of this property, right? Now, once this property has been vested as a enemy property, the control permanently is vested with custodian of enemy property, and the property, it can't be transferred or inherited by the individuals who earlier used to own these properties. It is only the responsibility of this body, custodian of enemy property, who can dispose of, manage and even transfer these assets, not the earlier individuals. So this is how the control of property is changed from the individuals, but once they migrated to enemy country, this property now is vested with Government of India and controlled by CEPI, right? Now, this act, enemy property, it was amended back in 2017. The major updates that was made to this act was that the inheritance rights to these properties were abolished. So no person, even the Indian inheritors of these property, can claim to be the rightful owner once the property has been designated as an enemy property. When it comes to legal ownership and transfer to any other party, it is strictly prohibited by these persons. So therefore, what government did, it closed all the loopholes that could have been used by these individuals to claim civil or inheritance right over these properties, and eventually all of this matter was closed, and ultimately it is the Government of India who rests control of these property. Now, what you need to understand, how can government dispose of these property? For that, government has brought out another rules or guidelines known as Process of Disposal of Enemy Property Guidelines. These were brought in 2018. Government here has laid out procedures for, first of all, selling, valuing or even auctioning these properties, right? Now, the valuation of these properties is done by a committee which is led by the district magistrate of where the property is located. And if occupied, the occupants are given the opportunity to buy this property at a set price which has been set by a committee led by district magistrate. Now, movable assets also, like shares, businesses also, they are sold through public auctions or through tenders made publicly by Government of India, right? Also, what you need to understand are the key statistics of how many enemy property actually exist into India, right? Also, what you needed to understand, that whatever government collects after disposing of these properties, that money is transferred to Consolidated Fund of India, ultimately used by government for its expensive purposes, right? Now, in total, there are more than 9,400 properties into India, which belongs to people who either left India to join Pakistan or to China. And the total estimated value of all these properties is more than 1 lakh crore of rupees. That is why when government is holding so much amount of properties, it can dispose of in the open market, and ultimately the proceeds will be transferred to which account? To the Consolidated Fund of India. And you have known this from your polity lectures. If government wants to spend any money from the Consolidated Fund of India, it needs permission of which body? It needs permission of the Parliament of India. Understood? So this is what enemy property is all about. What do you think about this issue? Should Saif Ali Khan be handed over this property by the government, or should this property remain with Government of India and the proceeds of these property can be used for different governmental expenses? Do let me know what you think about this issue, but please try to be very civil in your comments, okay? Now, if you want to enroll in one of the batches of StudyIQ, these batches are very helpful when it comes to your preparation, especially the batches that have come for 2026 examination. You understand now you only have roughly about 10 months of amount of time, but you will be able to clear this exam in 10 months amount of preparation only if you have right guidance. And we in our resolution batches provide you exactly the same. You are provided not just with live lectures and live notes, but you're also provided with mentorship, test series, scholarship, as much scholarship that if you clear your prelims examination, your entire course fees that you're paying us right now will be refunded. Please remember, this batch will start from 15th of July. Do not delay taking admission, because only 10 months amount of time is remaining for your UPSC exam, and you'll get this rate only when you apply the code ATS Live. You know how to apply the code. Go to our website, there click on buy now. On the right there's an option to add promo code. I've done a separate video on it, how to apply the code. You can watch that video, right? Now, before concluding this session, there's a practice question that I've curated for you guys. Please do let me know what is the correct answer of this practice question. If you can't see the last option, now it says 1, 2, and 3, right? So once again, please take a screenshot and do let me know the correct answers. The ones who answer it correctly, I'll give you a thumbs up so that you know you have done it right. And also, please tell me what you feel about this issue. Should Saif Ali Khan be handed over this property or not? Do let me know in the comments, okay? And you know the drill. The notes will be made available on this Telegram channel, ATS Live. It was nice meeting you. Please have a very good day. We'll meet each other again tomorrow.